It's just like about a girl traveling across America, like, starting in Arizona with the sun shining and the sort of desert colours, and then finally ending up in LA or a big American metropolis where she's very glamorous and sexy. Kind of Jerry Hall inspired. Started with the sort of desert colours, the sand-blasted denim and the print that was kind of Navajo inspired, and then as it progressed it got more and more glitzy and more spangly.
I think he was probably influenced by American Indian heritage. You saw fringe, you saw the kind of beadwork that you see in American Indian craftsmanship. Very rich, the sequining.
Lots of archive pieces that I reinterpreted with beading and embroidery, took some of the prints into sequin work, yeah, kind of like a whole melting pot of textures. 4 in total. I designed them, and they were used using the Emilio Pucci techniques and the sort of original placement of how he would put print together, but using more modern motifs, like for example, the sort of neon lights was a motif that I used in the print.
I thought Rob Simmons was right on track. We love the suits. The cut was perfection. I think he's really taken Jill Sander to a new level. Love the fabrics and the colors. Totally classic, but very interesting. You can see the subtle, you know, kind of avant-garde touches with the pockets and the sandals. I think he does those kind of high-tech fabrics, but in a very natural way. Probably better than anybody else.
What I find interesting watching one of these shows is that how it's almost as though these clothes were made for little tiny dolls and they're kind of blown up. So I can imagine these clothes on a Ken doll, and because they have a kind of weird stiffness when you try and make these clothes in miniature. Imagine like the clothes in miniature and then you see it and then blown up again. So it's kind of like interestingly strange. I mean, he's definitely out there with his aesthetic. He's always futuristic. You know, he did a lot of futuristic stuff last season for his own line, and he's continued that into the Jill Sander line. He's a bit like Miuccia Prada for women. You know, it's very, very forward-thinking in terms of fabrics, fabric construction, techno fabrics. And sometimes it hits and sometimes it misses. I think this hit, but I mean, like, it's not for everyone, that's for sure. I mean, in simple terms, say like your matching short sleeve shirt and the trouser. That's kind of a basic thing. The tone is almost like a suit without a jacket. So it's like he made a suit out of a shirt and a pair of trousers. So he kind of formalized. It's a formalized casual wear. That I think is interesting because I think it can carry a lot of men through in summer from office and to outside. Without sort of dying from the heat. So, there are little things like that. Plus, like the very tiny minimalist touches with the colors were minimalist. The cut is very simple, no pleats in the front of the trousers, just the same tone belt with the trousers. It's all pared down, and really, I just kept thinking of big Ken dolls walking down the runway towards me.
That's a new pattern for Jill Sander, and I thought it was really subtle the way they did it, and always keeping the color palette light, but then you could see like that kind of like that little pattern that you're talking about, like in the light blue on the white or the tan on the white. And I thought it was super classic, really a great pattern if you're going to go with one pattern, because it's so minimal. It's not really known for pattern.
I loved it. It's consistently being one of the strongest shows, and I love that the shoulders were a little more defined. They weren't as slouch as usual, which works for a lot of guys, but this was a lot more forgiving for a lot of guys in general. And I love the shoes. I don't know if you noticed, but the chap that used to be at Costume National, Franklin, is doing the shoes now for Jill Sander, and I thought they were the best thing I've seen in ages. Loved it.
I think he's always going to be a fan, and he's such a pioneer, as is and was Jill Sander herself, of the white shirt buttoned up to the neck. And I think when he does it, when Jill Sander does it, it looks so good. It still looks so fresh because the shirt, the proportion of the shirt is so perfect. So it's always such a good, clean spring look. But then the cuts of the suits, the fabrics, the colors, that's what kind of keeps it moving forward.
if you have the chance to work on a live body, you know, which I'm working a lot with live body, and so it's a huge advantage because you can construct and drape, and so that was, you know, the non-color thing, color but invisible color, no darks, no white, and the only thing that stands out really is the lips. The mouth is the only color that there is. There's a control, you know, in the shape, like something is very linear and very pulled in the lengths and very rigorous. But then there's an anarchy in the way the clothes is made, like pleats are gone crazy, you know, like pleats are just going into all directions. Nothing is matching from the left to the right or the front to the back.
I thought it was really beautiful. I love the idea of him, you know, really making the statement about the dress. I love the softness of it. He just told me that the inspiration was rigor and anarchy. I didn't see much anarchy in there, but it seemed very rigorous and also very sort of prim, but a beautiful softness. And I always, always adore his sense of color. He just has a beautiful way of, you know, graduating the color on the runway and how it evolves.
I think it was nice to let the fabric just allow the fabric to go how it wants to go. Everything pulled on the vertical, like a Giacometti sculpture. There's such a nothingness to it when you look at it at first sight, and when you study it a little bit closer, you realize how much work goes into it. I think that's interesting.
I thought the fabrics were beautiful, those crepe dresses at the end with the lingerie detailing. It was really pretty, really soft for him. I think he's really achieved that.